Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a Washington Commanders fan, you know how unpredictable and exciting this NFL season can be. And believe me, what's happening right now in the league, especially around the NFC East, could be a game changer for Washington. We're talking about a blockbuster move that could redefine the team's defensive identity and give them the edge they've been craving for years. So, buckle up, because this is one of those stories that could reshape the division and set the stage for a real playoff push. The NFL landscape is always shifting, but right now, one story is dominating conversations: the potential trade involving one of the league's most dominant pass rushers. I'm talking about TJ Watt, the Pittsburgh Steelers' superstar linebacker and edge rusher. And no, this isn't just a rumor. It's a story that's gaining serious traction and could very well become a reality before the season even kicks off. The Steelers, as you all know, are in a bit of a tricky spot. They've just signed Aaron Rodgers, finally solving their quarterback dilemma after years of uncertainties. Rodgers, a future Hall of Famer, joins a team that's been struggling with consistency at the position for quite some time, but now the focus shifts to something equally pressing: the defense, and more specifically, TJ Watt. Watt, for those who might not be fully aware or need a quick refresher, is widely regarded as one of the best pass rushers in the NFL today. Since entering the league, he's been a force of nature on the edge, consistently putting pressure on quarterbacks, racking up sacks, and disrupting offenses. Last season alone, Watt had 12 sacks and 53 pressures, proving he's still a top-tier player at his position. But here's the catch: Watt is entering the final year of his current contract, and the Steelers, like many teams, are in a weird spot where they haven't yet managed to get a new deal done with him. That's raising eyebrows across the league, because when a player of Watt's caliber hits the last year of his contract, teams often face a dilemma. Do they risk losing him for nothing, or do they explore options to maximize value through a trade? And that's where things get really interesting. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as they look to rebuild and retool, are reportedly considering all options, including trading Watt if an extension isn't in the cards soon. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would a team so desperate to keep such a key piece consider trading him? Well, it's simple. If Watt isn't happy with the negotiations, or if the Steelers see the risk of losing him for nothing in free agency, they might decide that a trade is the smarter move to at least get some return on their investment. This is where the Washington Commanders could step in. Yes, you heard me right. The Commanders, who have been making some interesting moves lately, could be the perfect landing spot for Watt. Now, I know some of you might be surprised, but think about it. Washington has been quietly building a solid roster, especially on defense. They made it to the NFC Conference Championship in their first season under head coach Dan Quinn, which was a huge boost for the franchise's confidence and credibility. That success was unexpected for many, but it showed that with the right coaching and talent, this team can compete at a high level. The addition of Jayden Daniels as quarterback was a gamble that paid off, and now the focus shifts to making the roster even more formidable. And let's be honest here, the defense is where the Commanders still need that extra spark. Last season, their defense ranked around the 10th worst in generating pressure, a statistic that's crucial in today's pass-heavy NFL. They have some solid players, like Dorrance Armstrong and Dietrich Wise, who are expected to be the starters on the edge. But frankly, that duo isn't enough if Washington really wants to take the next step. They need more firepower. Adding a player like TJ Watt would instantly elevate their pass rush, giving them a true game-wrecking presence on the line. Watt isn't just a sack artist. He's a leader, a player who commands attention from offensive lines and opens up opportunities for his teammates. Imagine the impact of Watt pairing with Montez Sweat and Chase Young, a trio that could create nightmares for opponents. This kind of upgrade could turn Washington's defense from average to elite almost overnight. And don't forget, Watt's presence would also motivate the younger guys on the roster to elevate their game, knowing they're playing alongside one of the best in the league. The numbers speak for themselves. Last season, Watt recorded 12 sacks and 53 pressures, which, in NFL terms, is still very impressive. It shows that even at this stage of his career, he's still a dominant force. His ability to generate pressure and disrupt passing lanes is exactly what the Commanders need to turn around a defense that struggled to consistently pressure the quarterback last year. Plus, his experience and leadership qualities would be invaluable in helping to develop Washington's young defensive talents, creating a culture of relentless pursuit and high standards. Now, let's talk about the potential trade specifics. Obviously, a player of Watt's caliber commands a hefty price, and the Steelers would be looking for significant compensation. Draft picks, young players, or a combination of both could be part of the deal. Washington, with its young core and an eye toward future success, might be willing to part with some assets to secure Watt's services for at least a couple of seasons. This kind of move wouldn't just be about short-term success. It's about establishing a defensive identity that can dominate in the NFC for years to come. Of course, there are questions and risks involved. Will Watt be willing to move? Is the Steelers' front office prepared to part ways with him? And can Washington afford the salary and compensation package? Those are questions that will be debated, but the potential upside is huge. A pass rush with Watt, Sweat, and Young could be one of the best in the league, and that would make the Commanders a real playoff threat. And let's not forget the broader context. The NFC East is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in recent memory. The Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants are all investing heavily in their rosters. For Washington to stay competitive, they need to make bold moves. Bringing in Watt would send a clear message that they're serious about contending and not content with just making the playoffs. They want to win championships. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the other NFC North teams or the AFC North, especially with the recent signing of Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. That move instantly made the Steelers a more dangerous team, but it also means that their defense needs to be just as formidable. Watt's absence would be felt if he leaves, but if they can get a solid return in a trade, it could be a strategic decision for the franchise's future. On the flip side, for Washington, acquiring TJ Watt isn't just about adding a player, it's about making a statement. It shows that they're ready to compete at the highest level, to go all in on their Super Bowl aspirations. It's a move that could inspire the entire team and energize the fan base, which has been waiting for a real contender to emerge from the shadows of the NFC East. As we look ahead, the NFL offseason is always full of surprises. Trades, signings, draft picks, everything is on the table. But one thing is for sure, if Washington manages to pull this off, it could be a defining moment for their 2025 season. A season where they don't just aim to make the playoffs, but to challenge for the crown. The addition of TJ Watt would be a statement of intent, and it could be the piece that finally puts Washington over the top. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Watt would be the perfect fit? Would you be willing to see some draft picks go to Pittsburgh in exchange for such a game-changing talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is a franchise on the rise, and with moves like this, the future looks brighter than ever. Keep the faith, and let's keep pushing forward together.